Where'll you be going?
Texas?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Go on, make it happen.
And now here's Steve and Michelle.
You're listening to Mallet and Michelle. I am Michelle, your guide to all things real, ridiculous, and the Texas Hill Country. And with me, as always, is the man, the myth, the occasional mansplainer, Steve Mallet.
Okay, I think that's one of my specialties. I'm a really good mansplainer.
I think it is.
Let me tell you why.
Oh, God.
Hey, I'm super excited today. We have two wonderful guests coming in, Kathryn Chandler and Sharon Reddehase.
Oh, you just
I butchered it. It's
yeah.
Reddehase.
Reddehase. Yeah.
I did it. Yeah. It's because you got in my head earlier. Sharon Reddehase. I'm sorry,
dun,
Sharon.
Dun, dun.
And they're from Patriots Hall, and they're going to come in and tell us all about the cool things happening at Patriots Hall, which has only been open for 9 months.
I can't believe that. I feel like it's been open for a really long time, but I guess it was because of the VFW and the VFW was there for a little while, but we went to that grand. It's that building that's right next door to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The American Legion. Yeah.
So they're going to come in and tell us about all the cool things that have been happening in the last 9 months since they opened the doors.
Hey, I wanted to thank our sponsors.
Nice save.
He just threw that right in front of me. Yeah, good job, Steve. Good job. Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room.
Where the hardest decision is pineapple, ruby red, lime, or let's try them all.
Oh, that's a good one, Steve. Look at you. Jovi Belterra.
Where 55 plus means you've outgrown drama, but not happy hour.
Full baloney. You have more 50-year-olds I know are involved in drama.
This is true.
Drama.
Yeah, you've got the time for that, don't you?
We do. South Star Bank.
Where modern banking meets personal service, and you're more than just an account number.
Mallet Integrity Team Real Estate.
Turning for sale into sold with hustle, heart, and just enough sarcasm to keep things interesting.
You know what's interesting?
Courtesy of Michelle.
I left my glasses in the other room, so this is going to be interesting.
Blind Grammy.
Blind Grammy, but yeah,
You want to borrow mine?
No, because
We're going to wing it.
We don't want to both be going blind.
Gonna wing
Sorry, on YouTube, it was just on me for the last 5 minutes too.
Oh,
so,
dang it. Jeez.
Hi. Hey,
she's a camera hog.
I know. I'm sorry. Usually, it's sometimes I hit button 4, and button 4 goes to nothing. So if you're ever watching my YouTube,
our very professional YouTube.
Yeah,
our 24 followers on YouTube.
Yeah, we're really good at this.
We haven't figured out the whole YouTube thing yet, but bear with us. We're going to get it figured out.
Didn't I say this morning, I figured something else out. I was like, look, I just went to film school. Hey, I wanted to do a couple of shout outs to some of these amazing Texas companies that have kind of given back to these Texas Hill Country floods. One of the biggest ones that I feel besides HEB has been P. Terry's. You were out of town, and P. Terry's donated one full day of all of their locations'
I heard about this,
proceeds.
yeah.
And there were waits for an hour and a half, 2 hours for a hamburger. They actually had to close early because all over they ran out of food, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Totally amazing. I was also surprised. It was kind of funny because I had this conversation with my kids. They were like, they donated $150,000. I was like, look, guys, that's after all the expenses. That's after they paid all their employees and their food and electricity. But that's still amazing, $150,000. The other one is James Avery. I don't know if you know this, but James Avery, along with HEB, their hometown is Kerrville, Texas.
Yeah, I did know that.
And James Avery, every year, I guess they had charms dedicated to those Camp Mystic girls.
I did not know that.
In Texas, if you're a Texas girl, you're a charm girl. You're a charm bracelet girl. I actually have my mom's charm bracelet from many, many years ago. It's really special. I have a charm bracelet. But James Avery has a special a heart Texas flag. A shape of Texas charm. And they have
Pretty
currently.
sure Holly has one of those.
Well, they've currently. This one actually has the date on it. It has
okay.
July 4th, 2025. They have currently sold out in all stores, but they are still taking orders, I think up until, if I read correctly, August 4th, give or take. And they are going to give all the proceeds back to the flood victims. They also lost a family member in the flood. But to name a couple others, of course, 12 Fox. 12 Fox has done amazing. They have spearheaded donation drives. And I'm not just saying, food and clothes and things like that. I'm talking chainsaws and drill bits.
Which were one of the most needed things
Yes.
at the time, chainsaws to cut through all that debris.
Crazy, crazy. So once again, some of our favorite people, Joe and Stacey Hogue, like you guys are just good people. One of the other people that I was reading about, speaking of chainsaws, was Dusty Drake of Dynamo Dusty.
Yeah,
He was on
what episode was he?
180.
Yeah.
I really encourage you. He's a veteran. I encourage you to go back and listen to
Great
his
guy,
episode.
too. Yeah, very interesting.
He's donated his tree service skills and equipment, and he was out there. Another one that we know, she's one of our advertisers with Dripping Springs Elite, Amber Pierce with Coit Restoration.
yeah.
She's been out there helping families try to get back, donating her time. Paul Guerrero, Allstate, he's an amazing guy. He's been out there donating his time. Of course, we talked about H-E-B and then Toyota, Whataburger, AT&T, and Verizon apparently have waived certain fees during this time for their customers.
It's been great, all the companies that have come out of the woodwork to support the people that are suffering out there.
NGR out of Houston. And Mattress Mac. I know that we've talked about him before during the hurricane. He's the owner of Gallery Furniture in Houston, Texas. He has a rapid response team that he had trucks and volunteers out there. And then one of the things that I have my friends on board, and we are all trying to get tickets. They go on sale next Wednesday. So, by the way, next Wednesday at 10 o'clock, don't talk to me because I'm going to be I'm trying to get tickets. So for like 10 minutes, okay? Just keep that in mind.
I'll put that on my calendar,
But,
Michelle. I won't try and bother you with any real estate
do not
stuff
bother
or
me
anything
with work.
like that,
Don't
so-
bother me with work because Parker McCullum has, along with his friends, he's a Texas artist, Miranda Lambert, Cody Johnson. They are having a benefit concert here at the Moody Theater in Austin.
The proceeds go to benefit
All
the
the
people in
proceeds
Kerrville.
go to
That's
that.
awesome.
And then one of our local guys, Pat Green, I've been in talks to get him on the show as well. Pat Green.
You'll get him. I know
I
you'll
will,
get him.
but
You'll get him.
he's a great, amazing Texas country artist. He's also went mainstream. He sings the song Wave on Wave. He lost his brother, sister-in-law, and
touched
two
a
nephews.
lot of people's lives, yeah.
But right after he gave a benefit concert with no audience, believe it or not, and various people have shown up. The country music side has really shown up to support all of this. But, I just wanted to give a little shout out to some of these local people. And I just think, kudos to you. There's a lot of people that can't give with their treasures or even their talent. So they give their time and however that is, if you're, whatever it is.
I think that's really cool. And as of today, I read there's only there are still 3 people missing. So they're still searching for 3 people trying to figure out where they are.
It's interesting that you should say that because there's a lot of controversy surrounding the 3, quote, missing people. There's a lot of people that are saying there's a lot higher. And so apparently Kerrville, the city of Kerrville, has apparently kicked out all of the volunteers because the state has now come in. Because I guess now at this point when they are searching or they're doing recovery efforts, it's the bacteria levels are super high. And so there are still areas outside of Kerrville and Hunt, some of the little smaller towns, and even in our own little neck of the woods up in Leander, that little area. But
well, I want to let some people know about something I read about this morning. Attorney General Ken Paxton has initiated an investigation into scams targeting flood victims. And apparently it's more rampant than you think. So there's all these people out there, like you're saying, raising money. There are people that, in this one instance, they impersonated the Center Point Volunteer Fire
was
Department.
it a female? Oh, no.
It didn't say.
I saw one that was a female and that she's been known to do this in North Carolina and Louisiana.
So they probably do. They target disasters and they go around and they get on the phone and they go, hey, we're raising money for, disaster relief, and people donate because, they give out of the goodness of their heart. They're being taken advantage of. They've tricked several people into donating money, and one man lost $10,000 trying to buy tickets to a George Strait concert that ended up being
bogus.
just a scam. Yeah. It's a sold-out benefit concert in Bernie that he's putting on. Attorney General Ken Paxton said he's going to use the full weight of his office to hold bad actors responsible. And it's important, I think, scammers are getting more and more sophisticated these days, and they're they really like to target the elderly, people that are getting up there in age. And they're getting the sophistication of how they're doing that is getting actually kind of crazy. I read another story. This is not to do with Kerrville, but this older couple, they were in their 80s, had saved up over the course of their lifetime a little $5 million nest egg. This guy clicked on an ad online for crypto and ended up giving away $5 million to a scammer. They are in their 80s now and have nothing.
Oh, wow.
Nothing. And so the gist of this article was he was going into the bank every day and going, hey, I need you to wire $217,000 to this account. Here's the wiring instructions. And they just kept doing it.
How did the bank employee not stop this crap?
They actually interviewed a spokesperson from the bank, and they said it is not our business to ask them about every transaction.
I'm sorry, but if somebody's in your 80s is coming up, I did see something online that they were talking about reputable charitable organizations to donate to, and they said
do some research.
Absolutely do some research, and they said they have already encountered, back to your original story, they already encountered people that are just there for social media clicks and video, so they can now go to their social media platforms and beg for money. Yeah. Or, you have the do-gooder that we've talked about this on a previous show. You have the do-gooder that is making themselves look wonderful and taking the credit.
Well,
I don't know.
They think they're making themselves look wonderful. In the eyes of the people that are watching, they look like they're just taking advantage of other people's misfortune is what it looks like. They're trying to increase their presence on social media because somebody else is suffering. There's nothing nice about that. The daily
or hourly updates that you're getting, and this person is, or people are, they're not sweaty, they're not dirty.
Right. They're just shooting video for their followers. But I actually see more legislation coming in the future to protect people, the elderly, and I think it's important for people your age, my age, to have open conversations with their parents if they're still around, to make sure they know what they're doing with their finances. Because giving away $5 million, you would say, oh, that'll never happen to my family. Well, it happened to some family. So, just be more cautious. When I was on my trip last week in Oregon, we were in this little small town on the beach. And I told you about this, Michelle. There was a group of about 30, maybe 40, I would say, senior citizens out with little handmade signs.
Oh, yeah.
The one that I saw the most was "No Cuts to VA," which I want to talk about. The other one was "No Kings," and I was trying to think of currently, if you are standing on a street corner with a sign that says "No Kings," you are the same person that was driving around last year with a mask on in your car by yourself with the windows open.
Or
wishing
us to not get medical treatment because we chose not to be vaccinated.
You're an idiot. But the signs that said "No Cuts to the VA," because we have Patriots Hall coming on today, I thought, is the VA really being cut? And I did some research on that. Early on in March, DOGE actually came out, that group that's looking at cutting waste and fraud in the federal government, and recommended cutting 80,000 jobs at the VA. There are 480,000 employees currently at the VA. They have a budget of $350 billion a year, which if you do the math on that, that's $39,000 per vet per year in the United States. And they recommended cutting 80,000 jobs. As that bill went back and forth, they were going to do a reduction in force, which means they were just going to basically fire or
Trim the
lay
fat.
off 80,000 people. Now that has gone to, they're going to eliminate 30,000 jobs, which means somebody retires, they don't fill that job. Somebody quits, they don't fill that job until they get the total number of employees down to $450,000. The cuts that I saw were, they talked about, there are many instances where people are getting multiple, they're getting money from multiple programs, and if they're qualified for one, they shouldn't be qualified for the other, but they're getting money from both. So people are calling that a cut. If you're getting Medicare and Medicaid, and one of those is taken away from you, that's not really a cut. It's not really fraud, because I think a lot of these people don't really understand, but the government is so discombobulated that they allow people to have money. So a lot of it seems to be that there are multiple programs where people are getting multiple benefits. Yeah. So, and the main thing that the VA secretary said, the focus is on finding deficiencies, and the only changes will affect veterans, and no changes will affect veterans' health or veterans' benefits. So they're trying to get rid of some of the bloat, which there's a lot. They added, in 2019, they added 80,000 new jobs, and the number of complaints at the VA has not decreased at all. The complaints are exactly the same. And I think this is sort of like the whole thing with the homeless. It's like, yes, you can keep throwing money at it, but at some point you have to say, we don't want to throw money at it. We want to make things better. Yeah. And so from what I read, it looks to me like they're trying to make the VA more efficient, cut out all the bloat. One of the biggest things was, and we've had people on that have said, I have to drive up to the VA, and my dad said it. The VA is, so many miles away. Well, now they're going to have a telehealth program. So the vet can just get on a video call with their doctor, and instead of having to drive 80 miles to go sit in a waiting room at the VA.
For 4 hours. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
what I find is hilarious, and my brother and I always laugh about this, is that his permanent address is my address, and he's a retired Navy guy.
Yeah.
And I'll say, hey, you got something from the VA? And he's like, it's just my appointment that I just had. They waste so much postage and paper.
Well, they got 80,000 too many employees.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you got to find a job for those people. Anyway, there are actually the vets are going to get a cost of living increase this year, 2.5%. There has been some discussion about cuts to SNAP, which blows my mind that we have veterans that serve this country on SNAP. But it's the same thing. It's like you're on SNAP, you're on these other programs. You're not qualified for both. It's one or the other. So in my mind, those are not cuts. You're not cutting something at the VA. So the other thing that's going to happen is the federal government is going to let the states manage some of this stuff. So they're cutting it at the VA level, but the money is being allocated to the states to take care. So a vet, say in Minnesota, maybe the VA benefit for food assistance would be cut, but he would be qualified. He or she would be qualified from the state assistance program, which we have what is it here in Texas? It's not called SNAP. It's called something else.
Well, no, WIC is
WIC?
women. No, WIC is women and children, and
maybe it is SNAP. Anyway, but so if you're holding a sign that says no kings, you're an idiot. If you're holding a sign that says no cuts to the VA, you need to do some research, because I didn't see anything that looks to me like it's going to negatively affect
I
veterans.
think most of the people I'm all for freedom of speech and go and protest and you
knock yourself out, but be aware that people are looking at you with your little silly signs saying you just don't know what you're talking about.
There's two people that stand on the corner of 290 and 12 and do that. Two same people that do that.
I would love to see when they're doing that.
I'm going to go stand out there.
50 people standing there waving American flags just 10 or 20 yards down from them. We should do that. Well, how great would that be?
Because it's Saturday morning and I'm actually spending my time with my family. Family. Hey, so we're going to have Patriots Hall, and they're going to talk about, all the great programs that they do. But I wanted to kind of give a little backstory of who they are, where they started. So it's a 7,100 square foot gathering hall, hangout space, pool table, fireplaces. meeting house. They have a 1,200 square foot meeting house, and it's also home to the local VFW and the American Legion post that they have, and an 800 square foot wellness center offering VA claim assistance, health consultations. But did you know that they will accept not only veterans, but if you are a spouse to a veteran, if you have a how did they word it? A minor child, but that wouldn't make sense because they wouldn't be able to be in the military. They said underage Patriots.
I'm not sure.
But they also give allowances, in the auxiliary and reservists, but they also give allowances to volunteers. And they're not necessarily active, so they'll allow them to become members. But I'm sure you've heard of the VFW and the American Legion. So the VFW, you must, in order to be a member of that, you must be a U.S. citizen or service member with honorable or general discharge. You must, there's no ifs, ands, or buts, serve overseas in a foreign war, expedition, or hostile zones. They say that this is the reason why the VFW model is kind of dying, because we are moving, thank goodness, we're moving to more of a peacekeeping nation.
Sure, yeah.
And so this is kind of what we want. But the American Legion, it's open to U.S. military service on active duty with honorable also and general discharge. It says the service dated from December 7th, 1941 to present, and it was expanded by the Legion Act to include all post-1941 service members. You know, that was funny. So if you, prior to 1941, if you served in World War II or World War I, you couldn't be a member. No combat requirement. So that's the difference between VFW and American Legion.
Yeah.
And National Guard and reservists on federal orders are eligible. Patriots Hall open to all veterans, again, regardless of service, era, or deployment, as well as family members and community supporters. And once again, like I said, it houses the VFW and the American Legion. The VFW, it costs something like $45 a year. The American Legion, again, right around that price. And you can also become lifetime members of both of those. You know what it is for Patriots Hall? $0. $0.
We were talking too that they do open it up to the public, but it's only on the days where the public is invited. So it's not like you can't just pop in there
for Taco
Tuesday. They're on their calendar on their website. Apparently, they have a very up-to-date
calendar is very, very well done now.
Yeah,
so,
but you can see the days where it's open to the public and go. So we're going to take a little break and get Kathryn, Chandler, and Sharon Reddehase in here. But I wanted to reach out and ask you all to go right now and follow us on the Mallet and Michelle Instagram, because we need to get a few more followers so that they will continue to allow us to do our Instagram lives, which have been a big hit. So, but hang on, everybody. Sit tight. We'll be right back with Kathryn, Chandler, and Sharon Reddehase.
Vodka-flavored vodka? How boring.
At Deep Eddy Vodka, we say, why stop there?
Our vodka's made with real fruit, handcrafted right here in Texas.
We've got bold cocktails, refreshing mocktails, food trailers on the weekends, and plenty of local events.
So come sip something with a little more soul than just plain vodka.
Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room. Live here, sip here.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room.
South Star Bank has remained true to its Texas roots for over 100 years. A commitment to the people and communities they serve, along with flexible financial solutions, allow their clients to shine. Mortgage loans, checking accounts, or complete business solutions. South Star Bank is your financial partner. South Star Bank, trusted by professionals, backed by tradition, built for Texas.
SouthStarBank.com, member FDIC, an equal housing lender, NMLS 410624. Find your joy at Jovi Belterra. Life is better here. This vibrant 55 and up community is located in Dripping Springs, just right outside of Austin. 1- and 2-bedroom homes, resort-style amenities, and just steps away from shops and restaurants. Forget the yard work. This is your time to relax, make new friends, and enjoy the life you've dreamed of. Find your joy at Jovi Belterra. Life is better here. Live JoviBelterra.com, 737-387-6870.
This show is brought to you in part by the Mallet Integrity Team, serving Dripping Springs, Austin, and the surrounding areas of Central Texas since 2004. When you need the best real estate advice and service, give them a call at 512-829-2062 or email them at malletintegrityteam.com. And now here's Steve and Michelle.
And we are back with Patriots Hall. We have Kathryn Chandler here and Sharon Reddehase. Did I say it right, Sharon? I did it.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming on. We're real excited. This is a big show for us. We've been wanting to do this with y'all for a while.
Yeah, we've been trying to knock you guys down for some time now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, things have been busy in a really, really good way.
Oh, good. We can't wait to hear about all that. I want to first kind of get who you are as far as your connections to Patriots Hall. So, Kathryn, you're a board member?
I am. I actually, it's about 6 years ago. I keep making it less years so that I feel younger. It's probably more like 7. But about 6 years ago, Shorty Barnett, who used to be our mascot for Dripping Springs, probably everyone knows him. He passed away a couple of years ago. Handed me a hand-drawn flyer just saying, us VFW American Legion guys need a place of our own, kind of shoved around to churches and buildings that get, demolished. So my dad being a Vietnam veteran and me looking at his little hat Vietnam veteran there, I decided that we could do this, no problem. So looking for maybe $300,000 to $500,000 for a little plot of land and a Mueller building, I thought would be just really easy. But the more I got into it, it's like, how viable is this? How sustainable is it? It's, they are older group, and how can they attract younger guys and keep this really going? Mm-hmm. So basically, I ran into Hank and Lisa Seal, who, if you don't know them, they're amazing.
Yeah.
And I took my husband with me because they invited us to dinner to talk about it. We're sitting at this dinner. Amazing food, obviously. And Hank leans back and he goes, so what's the ask? I've never heard that before. So I'm looking at my husband like, ask, what does that mean? And he had to explain, like, what do you need? I'm like, well, we need land. And he's like, oh, go get some. So he said, I'll help you as long as you can bring in the younger guys. Go do some surveys. Go find out what the younger groups need to bring them in with the older group because they all have this thing in common. You just need to put them together.
Sure.
And we did that. We did surveys up from Fort Hood, San Antonio. It's like, I want my kids there. We're health fanatics. We want to do this. We want to learn how to transition and learn from other successful veterans, So we just made this big list, and it turned in from that little thing to like a $10 million project. We built the VFW American Legion, their first building, and it's theirs forever home, 1,200 square feet. Amazing. Not like any VFW you've ever seen. Yeah. And they're thriving. They're on the property. And then we just went for the big one. And we've also got a third building that is a wellness center, which is VA claims assistance and also mental health. So we have therapists in there, which is like busy. We're adding more days right now.
I want to talk to you more about that as we go along. The mental health thing is really interesting to me. And then Sharon, are you newly executive director?
Well, 7 months in.
Yeah.
Seven. Well, I'd say that's pretty new. Yeah, we
it's
need
still
that.
pretty new. So I am child dependent of Air Force. 25 years. My dad was in the service.
Okay.
We moved 8 times before I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, I was on that same boat. My dad's 30-year Navy veteran. Yeah, I know.
Although
exactly
they kept
what
trying to
that's
move away from Steve.
Yeah,
they didn't
kept
want
trying
Steve
to leave me behind. Yeah.
But it was, I got to experience the good and bad parts of that. We settled in San Antonio and, just experienced the hard part of transition firsthand. It was very difficult for my parents, my dad to find a job. It was a very hard time in the economy. My mom hadn't been able to have a career because we moved so much. So it was a difficult couple of years and, always having to meet new friends as a child. So, here I am. I have this experience in my life. And, 20 years later, after doing all of my my career in the business world and starting up things in both the for-profit and nonprofit world, I hear about this incredible opportunity, and it's just it was like magical, and got to come out to actually it was a dinner.
I think it was Veterans Day dinner.
It was it was a holiday dinner.
Oh, it was the Christmas dinner.
But it was lovely. It was this beautiful Christmas dinner, and I think that was part of my interview, maybe.
Yeah,
Kathryn,
I
You didn't know it at the
that
time.
might have been all like kind of a scheme.
Completely.
It worked.
Completely. Yeah.
It worked, and I got to go in and experience the hall and what it was all about, and it was just beautiful. And I thought, gosh, this is my journey. Just led me here. So I'm just so happy to be here, and so happy to bring all of my experience to the table. And
Tell us about that experience. What that you mentioned at your startups and things. What did you do before this?
I think I've done everything. So I did the, a lot of people here in Austin did the Dell thing. So I worked there for many years, and more like on corporate strategy, and then got into working for smaller organizations, and worked for a family office of two very, very well-known philanthropists here in Austin, Tom and Lynn Meredith, and got to be part of helping build the Long Center and do some really amazing things, and learn a lot from them about what philanthropy is and what giving is, and got a chance to start up a software company with a good friend of mine that had a social part of it, and we were doing a lot of work in the education space and providing a lot of amazing technology for teachers to help students that were falling off track. So that's kind of where my social button got turned on. And even though I worked in the investment side doing venture capital and startups and building businesses, there was always that heartstring thing for me.
Yeah.
And so the last couple of years, I helped start up a nonprofit in the natural products industry. So still heartstrings for wellness. And also got to work more on natural products. Even it was investments, but did that work, and just always helping start businesses. It's just became part of my DNA. And I really just love coming in and taking all these ideas and putting structure around it, and getting teams built, and building out programs and things like this. So that's it. This is just like the dream come true.
What brought you here to Dripping Springs? Like, how did you settle in this area?
A good question. I'm a Lakeway resident, so I'm just over on the other side.
Okay, well, Hill
friendly
Country.
competition.
Yeah,
okay.
Hill Country.
Friendly competition.
We'll allow you.
I am
allow
Hill
it.
Country neighbor.
Do you have like a passport book that I can stamp for you or something?
I do have it with me.
Okay,
I'm
good.
hoping you'll stamp it today.
I will. I'll let.
But Kathryn, you live in Dripping.
I've been here 16 years, and it's funny. Someone just asked me the other day, it's like, when do you know that you're like a dripping spring? Because I came from California.
16 years. Yeah.
She came from California.
I came right when it was like the Exodus, people,
Yeah.
right? And before I even got to 30 days, a policeman pulled me over. I hadn't done anything wrong. And he comes up and he goes, so you're from California? Because I see your plates. He goes, you're going to want to get those changed. I was like, okay, all right. So,
Did he say, have a good day, ma'am?
Yeah, he did. And he asked me what church I'm going to go to. And I'm like, I just moved here. I don't know.
You and I actually used to live, when you first moved here to Dripping, we lived in the same neighborhood.
Yes.
And our kids, my oldest son and your oldest daughter, they're the same age.
And my
Yeah.
oldest son.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
all
We all went
graduated.
to he went to Dripping.
Oh,
That
wow.
it's kind of crazy to think, how did you guys end up here in Dripping Springs, and
From
why?
California,
And why
yeah.
Dripping?
Well, my husband's an actor, and he did Friday Night Lights. He was playing coach. And after 3 years of him driving back and forth all the time, we were in basically Hollywood raising two little girls, and it was like not a good fit for us.
No, yeah.
Just getting a little weird. I love everybody. But anyway,
Yeah.
moving
I'm
on,
with you, yeah.
I'm with Texas completely. And we back then you had hiatus, so you had a few months off, and then you'd come back for a good stint. And so I went with him on the drive. He wanted his car for 3 days. We drove, and I'm like, "Are you happy in Hollywood?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Me either." And then we're just looking out the window. I was like, so maybe we should move.
Yeah.
And we were just going through Dripping Springs to get to Austin because we were going to stay at a hotel. And I'm like, this looks cool. He was like, and we looked up the schools and everything. And then next thing you know, we bought land and built our dream home.
Wow.
And luckily that the show got picked up the next year because
Yeah.
like, you got to stay here. So, they've been raised here,
Yeah.
and I can't say enough about Texas, because when I first moved here, I was like, okay, let's do some, good for the neighborhoods
Yeah.
and this and that. So the first thing I did is like, let's raise money or Crocs for the Haiti earthquake.
Yeah.
So everybody brought those to school. And then I did another thing for Africa. And then the principal brought me in because, there's need right here. And me coming from Hollywood, I didn't understand that it could be so close. And that was so eye-opening to us that we just jumped on the bandwagon. I mean, the tiger totes and this and that. And then I was like, people take care of each other here.
They really do.
Do you think that has allowed you guys, I mean, you talked about in your bio that you and Kyle are about to celebrate 30 years of marriage.
Yes, next month.
Do you think that's allowed you guys to more or less fly under the radar with all of the Hollywood-esque scene and just kind of build a grounded family?
I think so. Also, Kyle is just very anti all that stuff. He's very uncomfortable with it. So coming here was kind of like, hey, I can just fly in 2 hours. I'm in LA if I needed to do a meeting and then fly back again. It's still the same day. So that was another reason, Texas was so perfect. I think so. It was a little odd at first because Friday Night Lights was still playing. So it was a lot of people kind of going up to him, calling him coach and stuff.
Oh, really?
But
that's cool, though.
But you don't have paparazzi showing up at your gate.
We've had a couple weird things, but I won't get into them. But there have been a couple weird things, definitely, but not for a long time.
Not locals?
No, like this car of older women, not that I'm not an older woman, drove from like Idaho or something, and they kept stalking our front drive. Like our neighbor kept
They were
saying,
just hoping to have a sighting.
and I didn't know it. And then we went to like...
She's like, he's in the Airstream.
I know. So we drove to the grocery store and they're behind us. And I'm not aware of any of this. Kyle's like, that car's been following me for days. I'm like, no, you're paranoid. And they pull up and he gets up and he walks and goes, what is it you want? And they go, we just...
That's funny.
And I didn't even know. And so they left a bottle of champagne in our mailbox and left. I mean, Kyle.
But that's what that's what people do in LA, though. They go around on those tours. Yeah, they so and so lives here and so lives
they're
there.
not allowed to get out.
Yeah, well, that's true. They're
Well,
not
they didn't
allowed
know, like
to
in
stalk
Dripping
you.
Springs,
Yeah.
it was going to take them 15 minutes to get to the next house. You're like, this tour sucks.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah, no kidding.
What kind of champagne was it?
I don't even remember. And he gave it away because he was just like, no, we're not drinking it.
Well, so you do have a background then. I was going to ask you have a background in helping raise money or in volunteer work with this kind of thing. So the Patriots Hall was not your first experience.
That's absolutely not true.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I make this up as I go along.
I know. I mean, to asking people to bring a pair of Crocs for the kids in
Wow,
Haiti is
that's
not raising $10 million. So
Yeah.
I have no business background, none at all. And that was all new to me. It was a shocker. I had no idea how to do it. Had great people around me, and Hank and Lissa Seal giving us kind of wings.
Yeah.
We just got really lucky. There are some amazing entrepreneurs like John Paul DeJoria, the Roku family. These people just stepped in just by coming to the property and going, I get this. I get this vibe. That's like the best way for people to really understand what we're doing.
So the Seals helped you buy the property.
Correct.
And then you went out and raised money to build all the structures.
And they continued. I mean, they've even served food there. That couple has continued to serve and support all the way through. But that's it. And a lot of people in-kind donations to help us get up. We just finished this incredible playground for kids. It's almost like a mini obstacle course to have it.
I saw that today.
And it's Blue Horse that donated like 70% of it because we need something for a community project, and this fits the bill.
Did you get any resistance for Patriots Hall? Like, was there anybody who were like, this probably isn't a good idea? And you guys are right off of 290, and I know y'all were fighting with TxDOT, and there's going to take some land, and it kind of goes down a different rabbit hole. But was everybody kind of on board about this?
I can't think of anyone who wasn't. I mean, when we were just trying to raise for the VFW American Legion, there was pushback going, is this going to be around in 10 years, this building? What are we doing? But I can't think of anyone. It's funny with the TxDOT, though, because that's even Hank Seal, he goes, you're not going to win this one. I'm like, because we have 10 acres, and they wanted to take 4. Because when you fly over, it's just open space for the acres, and that's where, all the hiking is and the campfires and that's where the serenity is, and they didn't see that from that, so they're like, we're going to take 4, and so we went to some of those meetings downtown and got crazy with the Post-its, like everyone write down something and slap it right on that picture, and it was just stack after stack, like don't mess with with the veterans, and this is really important. And next thing I know, they said we'll take 60 feet, and I was like,
That's
What?
good.
You know-
Yeah. So,
Well,
yeah.
I think the lesson there is if TxDOT is going to do it, they're going to do it. But they do listen to community input.
Absolutely.
And I think
Yeah.
they've made some big changes already in that initial plan.
Yeah, it was because it was such a shocker to everyone, I think.
Yeah.
You know, that did, I mean, that could have kind of ruined so much of our vibe of
I
what
think
we were
it
going
completely
for.
would have. Yeah.
Completely.
So what kind of programs are going on there now? If somebody that's a veteran wants to get involved and go to Patriots Hall, what kind of things are going on there?
I'm going to bring it to you, Sharon.
yeah.
You're there all the time.
What don't we have?
I know, exactly.
So our programming, like Kathryn was saying, you know, when we were dreaming of what Patriots Hall could be, it's all about asking, what do veterans want? And so everything we do is grounded in listening to the veterans and what the needs are in the community. And our community is, you know, between Travis County and Hays County, there's over 70,000 veterans.
Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And I have quoted this many, many times, but I hear that Dripping Springs has the largest concentration of retired special forces in this area as
That would
well.
not surprise me.
I like that, and I would use that. And here's one more. From San Antonio to Fort Hood is the heaviest corridor of veterans anywhere in America.
I have heard
And
that.
Dripping
yeah.
is like right there in the middle. So
Yeah, it's perfect.
yeah.
And I think Texas is surpassing California as the largest state in terms of the number of
The
veterans.
number of veterans.
So Patriots Hall, to kind of go back with what you guys offer there at the site, who is it open to?
It is open to everyone. Our mission is for all of the things that we offer, and I can talk a little bit more about that,
Yeah.
is that any veteran and their immediate family and active military and their immediate family can come and participate in anything we have at no cost. So we want the community to be there because part of this is all about the community being able to support veterans however they can. But we don't want there to be any fee or any charge associated with for
That's
the
really
veterans.
cool.
So that is our mission. That's why we fundraise. That's why, you know, we're in the middle of we can talk about the match in a
Yes.
little bit, but that's what it's all about, is to get the funding to be able to provide that service. So what do we offer for veterans?
Yeah.
We kind of think of ourselves as having three kind of main pillars of things we do. One is all about connections and social belonging. So that is, we have so many different events and social activities. We have a First Friday coming up the first Friday of every month. We always open up the hall and have all kinds of different social activities. Last month it was bingo. This
And this is
coming Friday,
this is for everybody.
Everybody can come. And this Friday will be trivia night. So come on out.
All right.
Challenge y'all. We have all kinds of events coming up in the fall. We have Veterans Day celebration coming up. We have the 250th Marine birthday coming up as well. Our second, and we have small social groups that get together. We have a women's group that meets once a month. We have a military parents group, a military spouses group, and those are really lovely opportunities for those folks to get together and share experiences and bond together
Yeah.
and find their people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taco Tuesdays, which
Yeah,
Taco
which Michelle
Tuesdays,
helped
yes.
with,
Thank
yeah.
you so much for your support.
Thank you.
We
Thank
love
you very
this.
My support was walking around looking at the tacos, and I didn't have to make them, and I didn't have to serve them. And
So you were just the personality hire.
I was the personality.
Yeah.
That's
And
the story of my life.
They loved it. They loved it. Everyone was so excited. They were like, "Ooh, celebrities!
Ooh,
You're
girls!
Yeah.
Actually, we heard somebody say, "Ooh, girls!"
Oh, jeez.
We love that. But that social connection
Yeah.
is so important because, as I mentioned before, personal experience, you lose that. You lose that family. Every time you go on base, every time we move, there's always people there
I
to
agree.
welcome us.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
not to have that and
Yeah.
be cut off from that, that's just so hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
I've discovered that as well with my son. He was in for 8 years, and now he's in med school. And he told me even last night, he goes, "I'm having a hard time finding my people."
My people, my tribe.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so he still connects with, the Coast Guard Air Station and stuff like that, and his friends will come visit. But I think it is
Absolutely.
important to be able to have that connection, like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we hear it all the time. People say, I I feel comfortable here. I feel welcomed here.
Yeah.
And we've even had people say, I feel like this is like a home for me.
Yeah.
And there's no hierarchy. You know, you drop. I think it was Brent, one of our veterans, who said, you know, you leave that at the door, because that's tricky too. Sometimes, you know, I think we had someone on our board that was high up, and the rest of the board members kept saying "sir." And I'm like, you guys, this is like a board meeting. You have to be able to see everyone equally, and some just can't. It takes a while. That's part of the transition, actually, that we're offering for classes to help you transition and let some
Out
of
of
that
the
go,
rank.
but take some of the really great stuff you have, because they can make incredible corporate people, any kind of entrepreneurs. But there is an adjustment to be made, so you realize that you're really talking with people that might be a little bit slower getting things done, because we're on a different, you know, it's not. A lot of things kind of have to
I think
tweak
that's
a little.
from their point of view, though, that's a sign of respect. So really what you need to be teaching them is another way to show a sign of respect without saying yes, sir,
Yes,
or
no, sir.
yes, ma'am, or whatever. In my research, I found out, and I was actually disturbed by this, since 2001, 120,000 vets have been lost to suicide. And the American Warrior Partnership estimates as many as 24 a day in the U.S. are committing suicide. And you mentioned earlier, Kathryn, that you have mental health support. So what does that look like at Patriots Hall?
That's like, I'll let you go with that.
So that's our second pillar is all about what we call it wellness, because it's offering many different ways for you to meet. We'll meet you where you are.
Sure.
Whether that's traditional therapy, which we partner with Austin Vet Center and Samaritan Center, they have folks coming onto our property at our wellness center to deliver these services to veterans and their families as well. And we have skill building. A lot of people want to learn a new skill. It's therapeutic.
Sure.
It helps you feel better about yourself. You bond with other people. We have gardening. We have art classes that are actually brought to us by Dripping Springs Art League.
Oh, that's
we have
great.
a couple amazing veterans that actually are teaching art.
We are big supporters of them.
Yeah, we
love
are.
it.
We love them. Huge shout out. It's just some amazing things they've done for us. We have guitar lessons. So that skill building is a big part of the journey for folks.
Yeah.
And then we have all kinds of just exercise and health and wellness. So you mentioned we have a Navy SEALs obstacle course.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We do.
Okay. I want to go check that out.
But you know what?
It is pretty amazing.
It's a great way for to do some competitions too. You know, you get the Marines against the Army, or you can, you know, my idea would be great to get like the high school football team against.
Yeah.
You know,
that would be cool.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That could be
are you
really
making
cool.
a challenge?
I think there is a challenge. Okay, Coach Z, did you hear that?
I think that would be really awesome. But, you know, also the gardening was always just a component that has just grown to this amazing, it's beautiful anyway. And it's actually, Christian, I believe, is a Marine. He and his wife, she served too, actually. They're both veterans. They put this together, and it's just the most, I can't, you got to come.
Well, when I walked in today, there was a bench and there was okra, tomatoes, and I think there was some squash and some jalapenos. They were all laid out on this bench. And then a little thing of eggs. Just a little thing of eggs that were there. So
That shout out to Katie Pitts for the eggs.
Yeah.
Sweet neighbor who brings them by.
I would think a lot of the suicide comes from feeling disconnected. And the programs that you're talking about is just getting somebody, they'll meet somebody else, they'll have a connection, they get out of the house, they're not sitting there watching TV all day, just, you know, feeling bad. And so I think that's great. It's wonderful. Have you had people that have said, veterans that have said, nah, I don't really belong there. That's not really my thing. They're just going to sit around and tell war stories.
When we did the VFW American Legion, we call it the meeting house, there was a little confusion at the time because we were so excited about that. We hadn't started the other building that some people thought that was going to be a VFW American Legion. But you know what's beautiful about that is they would come and I'd say, but go look at their VFW American Legion while we're, you know, building this. And there's a freshness to it. Like a lot of those guys come for Taco Tuesdays and you'll see them talking with younger people, which is always the thing to me is you could be really old, really young, but you guys have this in common and, you know, you leave them alone. I find myself getting like pushed out of the conversation because they're talking about this and that and this and that. It's just an instant connection because they share that. the suicide, we've had a few of those here in Dripping Springs, actually. I just want to shout out to 12 Fox and
we
Joe
love
Hogg.
Joe.
Yeah,
Joe
Joe
is
is awesome.
Joe Hogan, Stacy, they are some of our absolute favorite people. Actually, Joe's been on the show, I think, 3 times.
Yeah. He comes from the heart, and he's actually been, I've kind of, looked at him as a mentor in some ways also because he
With
is
his
a
fireside
veteran.
chats.
His fireside chats. I went to the first one. I said, can I just be a fly on the wall? And it was 28 degrees on the first night of that one. 28 degrees, ice all over the road. Stacy had said to him, no one's going to show up. Look at this weather. 30 people showed up.
Oh, you're kidding.
And he's like, tell me veterans aren't going to show up. And it's things we wouldn't know, but they know. They know about each other. So it's another thing we have is we're kind of putting together we'll call it like a veteran council or something, but they're always the people we check in with before we put something out there because we could be totally off base. We are not veterans, and they can come up and just go, that's just not going to fly, or have you ever thought of this? And it means a lot. They're truly like our secret weapon in a way to be successful in this. They have to know that we have their blessing on what we're doing.
Are there success stories that you want to share with people that have shown up and you've seen a transformation or...
It's we're still young. We're only 9 months in, I think. But I'd say, I don't want to name names. I don't want to embarrass anybody. But we have seen a few people that kind of popped in, maybe did something physically. Let's help with the garden because people like to come and do something. They don't want to sit and go, okay, now what's going to happen? Who am I going to meet? You put those guys to work, making a trail, whatever, and all of a sudden they're at the league together, the next night, and then their families are meeting. And we've had quite a few of those situations, and they'll just come and hang out. Yeah. They'll hang out and go, what can I do today? Oh, there's some things to pick. Let's go pick that stuff.
They feel needed again.
They have, and it's part
and
of service.
Purpose.
We were, that's what
purpose.
Purpose.
I love that. And I think that's what we're trying to help people with.
Oh, absolutely.
However we can. And your purpose might just be making connections. We have a beautiful story, and you probably know this person. But we had one of our volunteers who's a military spouse, and we had a volunteer appreciation event, and
I know who you're talking about.
One of our newer members or anyone who served, she had come in and she was starting to volunteer because she had just moved here and trying to get to know some people in the community, and she had come out of the Air Force and starting to look at what her next chapter looked like. These two folks met. She is now part of your group.
Yes.
So it was this magical connection that happened, just serendipity. And it was just such a beautiful story because if you talk to this woman who made this connection and is now working with you all, it was a game changer for her. It really changed her life. And she says that she is a lifelong member and supporter of Patriots Hall because it was such a important connection for her and is now part of this is her community. These are her people now.
These are her people.
What do you say to critics out there, especially with this political climate right here where it's not sexy to be proud to be an American? And people out there say, oh, gosh, veterans, they just make it their entire personality. That's all that it is about. Like what my response pretty much is, so I'm sorry, their courage makes you uncomfortable. I mean, that's kind of what I would say. But I mean, have you ever had that kind of pushback? And
gosh, maybe in a different state we might have that. I don't think in Texas. But you know what I've learned coming from California and now being in Texas is some of our biggest supporters, we think differently. And it never is touched upon. There's something much bigger than politics, and it's supporting those who had taken this oath, and it just never comes up. So I'd say in there isn't. And also I've done so much reading now working with veterans where you can understand how they feel that way. So because it's so personal, some of the things that have happened that we can't even understand. Mm-hmm. So I don't even know how to say it.
You
just
even as a mom,
it.
I didn't understand, even for my son.
Wow.
I had
You struggled with that. I remember that.
I did. I had a really hard time.
He was going through basic training and then swim school or rescue school, and she was like, "How come he's not calling me every day?" I was like, "Wow, there's a lot going on in his life." Yeah, she struggled with that.
Yeah,
and then when he lost a friend of his, a rescue swimmer, this was last year when he lost that person. he was struggling really hard, and the person or the people that got him through that were his other rescue swimmer brothers.
For sure.
And even my oldest son was having a hard time with it. When we saw him struggling, and it's like, I don't understand why he's not coming to me. And all of us as a family had to understand, they've been through something together, battle buddies, for instance, that we would never understand.
Right.
We would never understand. So that's kind of where I feel I have heard people say that, oh my gosh, it's kind of obnoxious how, every veteran this, veteran that. And it's like,
we got to
to each
support
your
the
own.
people that have fought for our country, and for us to be able to sit here and do this and talk about things that are important to us. I think it's one of the most important things we can do.
Yeah.
I want to ask, you mentioned, I think it was you, Kathryn, 9 months in, Patriots Hall, we went to the grand opening. There was like 500 people there. It was
so
huge.
many people there, yeah.
Yeah. How has it gone the first 9 months? Is any unforeseen challenges?
I was able to, because before we had wonderful Sharon, I was juggling balls with president of the board and pretending to be what an executive director would be. Again, no business. Yeah. Okay? So it was
I love that you recognize that though now. You're like, what was I doing? But that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it was
had to
really
start
interesting on the
somewhere.
construction side. When we were construction, I'm like, yeah, I got that. No problem. Yeah, it was like a PC wet pipe. But I throughout the whole time, I had people just helping me, miraculous people. But once we were able to actually find Sharon, everything started clicking, because I've always focused on the fundraising and what can we do for the veterans. And then, a nonprofit, like it or not, has a business side.
Yes, it does.
Because something has to support all your wonderful visions and ideas, and that is keeping the building sustainable. And Sharon was able to do both, to bring in her past, with her family, and then also this incredible brain that I usually nod off when she's telling me something, because and her eyes get bigger and bigger because she's so excited. And I'm like, okay. But she is, and we've got some staff now too that just all speak the same language, and you guys are just kicking it. It's just incredible. But yes, changes. You find out some things work, some don't. You put them on the back burner. Some things you had no idea were going to be huge. I mean, what was it? The stained glass. It's like, we need more glass. It was like, who knew? It's like that. So with it in Sharon's hands and her group, we just. I'd say taking off. We're working down our debt. We only have a little bit more left to the bank.
That's awesome.
That's good.
Yeah, and you can talk about that. Where are we with that?
I think we're getting so close to
being debt free.
Debt-free. I mean, the building was a huge undertaking, and I giggle because you're like, what was I doing? I look at it and I'm like, look what she did. Oh my gosh. I just walked in and everything was already set up. So I remember to see the lens and the perspective.
It was like there was two phases. There was the building it, and then it was not done, but it's almost done.
Yeah.
And then there was the ongoing running of Patriots Hall.
And I remember when it was
completely
just an
separate
idea
things.
here in Dripping Springs, and all the chatter that was going about it. And Kathryn, when you talk about the building of Patriots Hall, what was the hardest for you? Was it the emotional side, the financial worries, just personally trying to juggle your personal life and trying to pick out, PVC pipe or whatever it was?
Literally, it was a lot of hats. I think I had no idea we were going to take on a $10 million project. And I kept going and looking for mentors to help me with that. That kept me up at night. And it still does. It's flashbacks. It's like, why didn't that work? But this community, I remember it was February 20th, I believe, 2020. Everything was about to lock down. And we had our first fundraiser. Yay, right? Geez. And so many people came in to become founding sponsors on that night, which is $10,000. It's a lot for community members. And I kept like, are you sure? Because things are happening.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we're behind you. We raised so much money knowing COVID was shutting things down, and that we picked the right place. It could not be anywhere but Dripping because of the community support has just been phenomenal. Incredible. During that time.
This town has never ceased to amaze me that way people pull together when there's a need. It just blows my mind. Almost every day you see, I can't believe that happened. But it's a standout. Like no place else I've ever lived has been like
Sharon,
this.
have other communities reached out to you guys to kind of replicate this in other areas of the country?
Yes.
Yeah. You want to go? I'm going to go.
So...
Which one was the last one?
Indiana,
We've had a few. Indiana,
right out of Indianapolis. There's a gentleman who is very active. He spends half his time. He's from Indianapolis area, Hamilton County, which has a huge contingent.
Oh, yeah.
He spent part of his time in New Braunfels, just life-wise.
Okay.
Found us one day driving by. I think you gave him the tour.
Yeah.
His name is Bill Doss, Vietnam vet. Lovely human being, but he is a super connector. So he's come a couple times to Patriots Hall. I still talk to him all the time.
Yeah.
He's become just such a dear friend of ours. But he's doing this. He literally is trying to find
The first time's the hardest time. Once you've done it once and you've got sort of a model, it's like it's a lot easier to duplicate in other places. I would love to see this popping up all over.
Is he calling it Patriots Hall?
I don't know if they're going to call it Patriots Hall. I think that's still in the storming and norming phase of what they're doing. But they have so many. They already know all the different veteran service organizations. They're working with the state folks, and they're starting to figure out, like, what does our programming look like? They're now looking at a place to have as their home.
Yeah.
And he's real close to having a place identified.
Oh, really?
And so we're just sharing. We're sharing as much as we can with each other.
Ideas and how that brings me to are there any grants for this type of thing available to you guys?
We've had, POSAC from Hays County, the Parks and Open Spaces. Walt Smith saw us as being viable for that. And I was like, yeah, but it's just veterans. And then the community is on invitation for certain events and things like that. He said, no, this works. And so that was a huge grant.
That's nice.
And that kept us in line with making sure the community is involved, with we want to teach them gardening, maybe they have the kids and like some of these events. The members themselves are veterans in their immediate families, but a lot of things are open up to the community. So that was a huge one. We're just about to start hitting the grants pretty hard. It was a little premature when we were building and everything because they want to know how many do you serve today. I'm like, I'm still pounding nails. I have no idea. So we're getting close to that. And just going back to other Patriots Halls, we're working out that to have that name, because we're the flagship in a sense, it just has to be certain things where it's all veterans, regardless of age, branch, or whatever. And with VFW and American Legion, there are certain hoops. Like VFW, it's foreign boots on the ground during wartime.
Right.
And when you're already a smaller, older group, that can be really hard to get new members. So that was in the survey too. It's like, can we come just because we took the oath and we've got our immediate family? So that makes us different. And if you're going to have the name of Patriots Hall, that has to be all veterans and their immediate family would be involved at no charge. So one other thing. Sorry, I'm going to
go.
Shabby Kathy.
Yeah.
Helen Patton, she's the granddaughter of George Patton. She has her own foundation, and she travels the world talking and teaching kids and everybody about World War II. She has a homestead in, I believe it's Pennsylvania, and she's talked about, maybe I'm going to put a little Patriots Hall out here now that I know how it works. And I was like, okay, we're there. So there are places. I think they'll start to pop up. Yeah.
I love that. I hope that they do. So 9 months in Patriots Hall, what's coming in the future? What can the community expect to see in the next year, 5 years at Patriots Hall, at our Patriots Hall?
I'll throw in a couple things. Yeah. One thing that I have to circle back with, that John Paul DeJoria was on Shark Tank, and this was his idea, so I'm going to keep him to it. He's like, we're going to do a Shark Tank for veterans. We're going to invite the community. I'm going to get my guys out here, and we're going to do it. And I was like, okay. Yeah. So we're still working on trying to get a pavilion outside, not huge, but shaded and this and that. That needs to be sponsored. Anyone if they're interested, and we'll do something like that outside and have a dinner. That's coming up, and gosh, I don't know.
There's
so much.
The sketchbook and the list is huge.
Yeah,
so I love. Well, can you share just a couple things?
We have 10 acres, right? So you got to come out today and see what we have. There's a lot of space left. We would love to see our gardening expand. Okay. We are working with Hays County Master Gardeners and the Master Naturalist Group, which is funded partially from A&M. So we're trying to find some different partners to help us expand that programming so we can have more teaching and learning and building and expanding of the garden.
Okay.
You may see some bees.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. We love
That's
this. We're working with
cool.
Hives
Yeah.
for Heroes to kind of partner with them and come in and do that.
Hives for
Hives for
Heroes.
Heroes.
Hives for
Yeah.
Heroes.
Yeah.
We need to reach out to
them.
somebody
They're
from
big.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be-
amazing. So maybe some
Yeah.
Patriots all honey. I don't know, but we were talking
That would
about.
Ooh, that would be
That
cool.
would
That
be
would be
very
cool.
cool.
Yeah, so we'd love to do. We have space. You know, we won't. I don't know if we'll necessarily have horses living on site, but
bring 'em
equine
in.
coaching and equine therapy is
Yeah.
a proven medium for really helping people through difficult times. So we have a couple organizations we've talked to. If we can build the right pen, they will bring in the horses and do the coaching on site. So that helps us expand some of the therapeutic
Yeah.
offerings that we have. We love to. We are definitely in the spring. Get ready, any competitive people out there. Patriots games.
Oh, love it.
That
we
would
will
be
have
cool.
teams and we will have
Teams.
competition. So that will be coming in the spring. We're very excited about that.
Yeah. you started a Patriots pack actually with the
Yes, we
runners.
did.
Murph Challenge we want to do on our prop. We've had a couple on different properties and they gave us the proceeds, but now we want to do our own, have that there. One pillar we didn't tap into, which is so important, it's just because all this stuff is fun, but employment and education.
Yeah.
So we've had a couple job fairs. It was Wells Fargo. No, it was Morgan's.
Morgan.
JP Morgan.
Yeah.
They brought in their people, and like one side was, entrepreneurship. You want to learn? They had all their people there. They had all their paperwork there. You could talk one-on-one with people. And the other was just going into banking, I believe. And so when you have those work fairs, and they're really popular. It pretty much fills up. It's a great way for people to not just kind of go online and say, "Hey, can I learn about this?" They know they're dealing with veterans, which is really cool. And Texas Tech, we want to do some EDU if we can do that with them. We'd love that. And I think also there's one guy I keep begging. I'm not going to say his name because he'll get mad. Jesse, but anyway, very successful. Very successful. I'm going to get more now. Okay, very
Here, let's
successful.
text. You want to FaceTime him right now? Let's FaceTime. I've got his phone number.
Very successful entrepreneurs who were veterans have made that transition. Obviously.
Yeah,
Very successfully. I want them to come back because it's part of service too, which never leaves them to come teach some of those workshops for our veterans.
My dad, 30 years in the Navy, retired as a master chief. He really struggled when he went to work for IBM. And he said, when I was a master chief, when I walked in the room, everybody turned around and said, "What can I do for you, master chief?" He starts at IBM. He's just another employee. He really struggled with that. So I imagine you're probably seeing a lot of these people, a lot of the veterans having the same kind of experience.
Yeah.
One of the ideas that I have that was always near and dear to my heart when my kids were in high school, my son DEPT, so he delayed entry programmed into the military. So I actually had to sign his enlistment paperwork when he went into the Coast Guard. But at one time, Dripping Springs was in Texas. It was the biggest school or the largest amount of kids that were going into the academies, which was crazy. We've had West Point kids, we had Coast Guard Academy kids, and considering less than 1% or less of high school kids decide to serve their country, I would love to be able to have maybe, all of these academies or recruiters out there to where you have some sort of like just information day. Because, my job with the Coast Guard Academy is where I would help field the Coast Guard Academy applicants to high school kids. So I would travel around, did a little bit of that. I would love to see that.
That's
some
a
sort
pretty
of
interesting idea. You have recruitment going on with veterans there to talk and tell
sit there and
real
talk.
world
Yeah.
experiences about being in the military. That's a really
let me tell
interesting
you,
concept.
the Coast Guard has been really good to my son. He's in med school right now.
That's pretty
all
amazing.
because of the Coast Guard.
That's amazing. Wow.
So that's amazing for mom's pocketbook.
Yeah.
Yes. No kidding.
I want to circle back, Sharon. You mentioned you have a matching program going on now. I want to let you talk about that, but I also want you to talk about how can the community better support Patriots Hall and how can people get involved?
There's so many ways to get involved. Obviously, fundraising. We're about halfway to our goal. our original goal this year for fundraising. So we're always looking for folks to come in and partner with us on being able to continue to deliver the programming. We have, and we also have a $500,000 match that was announced in May, and we are about 20% there.
Okay.
And so the challenge is to get that full amount raised.
Is that by the end of the year?
By our 1-year anniversary. And
So
it's extended though.
Okay.
We're
We can
trying to
extend
do
it.
it for that. For that.
Yeah. We want to also allow people who do the end of year gifts to be able to be part of that.
Okay.
That part of that campaign. We also have so many opportunities for volunteering. So we just started a program that you're a part of today, where we have this beautiful kitchen, and it's a commercial kitchen.
Yeah.
And to have folks come in, we've been bringing tacos in from around the community and are very thankful. Thank you, Pigpen Barbecue.
Yes.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I
We
want
love
to.
them.
We'll be there.
Veteran-owned.
We'll be there in about 30 minutes.
We'll go see them. It's awesome. Shout out. But we also we've had so many companies and organizations asking, how can we be part of and how can we give back? And so coming in and cooking breakfast every Tuesday for our Taco Tuesdays. We have volunteer opportunities just to be an ambassador and show people around the hall. We have a lot of events that we're going to be planning in the fall and into the winter to go out into the community and give back to the community, and especially veterans. And so some organized events on site. We did a survey when I first started, and that was the number one interest area. And at first I was like, wow, this is incredible. But then I looked at our membership base, and 20% of our members, 100 people, we have over 100 volunteers at Patriots Hall.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, wow, that's the highest number I've ever seen working with nonprofits. But then it wasn't surprising because military is all about service before self.
Yeah.
And so, being able to find those opportunities, that's part of people's healing too. That's part of their connection. It's part of helping them grow as people. And so that we're planning to do a lot more of that and be able to offer that. So those are ways to give. We have an in-kind list, a wish list that we have on our website. So please click that. We have a laundry list. We would love a shed. We would love a storage shed. I'm shouting that out. That's for my colleague, Rick Barnett, Shorty's son.
Oh, yeah.
Rick, that shout-out's for you.
So the website is patriotshall.org, and where can people see?
We can go under the How to Help.
How to help.
And so we have a link to our wish list there. We also, at the end of this week, we have a volunteer actually literally working on this now.
Okay.
We have a volunteer helping us.
It's coming. Okay.
We have a volunteer helping us put an Amazon wish list together and getting that wish list onto
that'd be
Amazon.
great.
So it's a little more one click. One click.
That's perfect.
Also,
That's
do you
the
have
world we live
the
in.
ability to just automatically donate every
you
month?
can.
Yes, monthly donations. You know what's great about monthly donations is grant people love to see that. So we're talking $10 a month means a lot because they'll go, this person is really. So just know that if you want to give $1 a month, it actually looks good to the.
that's great.
Can you do that on the website, or do you have to do that?
No, you can do it right there. You go back up. It should say monthly, doesn't it?
There's also a donate button.
Click on the donate button.
there you
see
go.
if that takes you anyplace else.
Yeah, we are redoing this as we speak.
Okay.
So, it doesn't have a monthly right now.
If you click the donate button, you'll go to a different page, and there'll be a monthly option.
Oh, really?
So we have that.
Did that. Okay.
They're also volunteering.
We
are going to start
volunteer sign up.
volunteer signups. We have. We are going to do a ruckathon starting in September.
I want to hear about that. I want to hear about that.
Look for that soon. We're super excited about that. We're 2 months. You have 2 months to ruck as many miles as you can, and you can anyone here, anyone in the community, you don't even have to live in Texas, can set up a page, and you see $1 a mile, or if you want to go for a certain amount, and we will culminate that on Veterans Day. And we always have a Veterans Day celebration at Patriots Hall. But it's really to honor our veterans and to say thank you. And so we'll be starting that in mid-September. More to come. You'll hear more. But it's anyone can ruck.
Yeah.
And if you know, rucking, it's about getting out. It's about having goals. It's about supporting the veterans. And it's also a community. And so we're partnering with Texas Parks and Wildlife.
Oh, that's neat.
I don't know if you all know, they're 3 years into this, but a lot of their parks in September, in honor of Suicide Awareness Month, they will have organized rucks going on. And so we're partnering with them. And so we'll have some meetups at Pedernales Falls.
Oh, wow.
Inks
That'd be
Lake,
great.
McKinney Falls. So I'm personally helping do that because I'm a big hiker and I'm just all
I
about
know
this
both
one.
of you ladies. We didn't even touch on that, but both of you ladies are very active, hiking, exercisey, sweating.
Exercisey. See, that's not Michelle's thing. Michelle, let me take over. This is my wife
Steve?
and I just got back from doing 100 miles on the Oregon Coast Trail last week.
Sounds
And-
miserable.
and with 45-ish pound packs on the
Nice.
beach. It was awesome. I loved it. And, one of you mentioned unplugging. Like Michelle's like, I need the 5-star resort. And I'm like, no, I want to sleep in a tent. I want
too, yeah.
Yeah, I want to be out there roughing
I want a
it a
pillow
little bit.
top bed.
I sleep better in a tent than I do at home, I swear.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
My husband and I a couple of years ago decided we're going to do something together. So we did the what is it, Santo Domingo?
Yeah.
Camino del Santa.
That's like it takes like 30.
It takes 30 days.
Camino
Yeah.
de Santiago.
De Santiago.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
And you start at the upper west coast of France. You do the Pyrenees really quick. That's like your first
Really
day.
quick, yeah.
Yeah, whoa. And then we traveled up on the northern part, but we only got a little more than halfway. My husband's going to kill me, but he got shin splints.
But wait, and you guys stayed at hostels? Isn't that what I?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
reading?
that was so funny. Oh yeah, I mean, people in their whitey tighty snoring, and you're like, God, can you just move that guy over? I mean, really interesting. Every once in a while, we snuck off too because there was a hotel over there. We're like, what's that? And we would do that. But I loved that part. I thought it was really cool.
You meet some really cool people on the way. We
Yeah.
met just last week in Oregon. I met some of the coolest people.
Yes.
Bonnie from LA. She was just a really, really interesting lady. Talked to her for an hour and then off she went.
Yep. And if
yeah.
you don't want to talk to that person the next day, just get up early or late.
Yes.
Because otherwise you're stuck for like
Yeah,
30 days
yeah,
with the person
yeah,
you weren't
that's
thinking.
right. Yeah.
It's the same thing at the Ritz buffet line in the morning.
Oh, jeez. Oh my God. Yeah.
Nice comparison. Okay.
Sharon, you mentioned that people will hear more about things, upcoming events. Are they going to find that out on social media? How do people keep up with what's going on at Patriots Hall?
Social media, absolutely. Facebook, Instagram,
Okay.
LinkedIn. Allison Woodward's our amazing social media manager.
Sitting over there?
She's actually sitting here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she's responsible for all the great updates there. You can always come to our website. Our calendar is always up to date. So that is the key way.
Okay.
It is the single source of truth of what's going
Okay.
on at Patriots Hall.
Yeah.
And then we will have a new website that
Coming
will be
soon.
launching in the next couple of weeks. So that'll be really exciting. But yeah, I think that's the best way to find out.
Social media,
And we
okay.
have our first Friday next Friday. We've got, we are doing a VA benefits breakfast on August 29th to talk about veteran death benefits, which,
Okay.
no one wants to talk about it, but let me tell you, it's a rough time you're going through, and to be able to have
Yeah.
folks from the TVC who are coming in that can really help people navigate and figure all this stuff out. And it was actually a couple veteran wives suggested having the breakfast, and
Yeah.
it just spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
So we're doing that. We have a back to school block party. We're doing September 20th with the Austin Vet Center and the ACC Military and Family Center. So big party going on at the hall for the community that day. So a lot of things coming up. We just love to see people
Yeah.
come out and come
That's great.
check us out.
You mentioned the veteran benefits. When I was researching, that's consistently came up. There are so many veteran benefits that people are not aware of.
Correct.
So if you're educating them to, hey, this little grant is there available there, or this program, I think that's really wonderful for those guys.
And it's
gals.
the older guys, especially like my dad. He was a smorgasbord of Agent Orange, had everything going on,
yeah.
didn't know about the benefits, and just worked himself crazy until he was probably about 78, and then we figured it out, and it's like $3,000 a month, so it's like he can survive. Then we actually moved him to the veterans home in San Diego, where he ended up passing away, and that was like the highlight for him because it's his people again.
Yeah.
They're all veterans,
Yeah.
and they're I love to say they're just so odd because he'll call me, I made a new friend at Chow today. I'm like, what's his name? He goes, I don't know. We don't talk. I'm like, okay, I got you. You know, but that's
It wasn't on his shirt.
It's true. But he flourished. He listened to the doctors because they're military.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, I'll do that, you know. But anyway, veteran benefits, it's just like this crazy thing. You don't understand until what we have here is this is face to face. You come into the door, you sit down, you have someone's complete attention, and that's really unique.
Yeah.
Can I please do a shout out to Hays County?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jude,
Thanks to Hays County, we have someone every Wednesday that's on site at our wellness center that is taking walk-ins and appointments to help navigate the benefits and help you figure out how to unlock dollars and benefits.
I love that.
And starting in August, we just sealed the deal today. Texas Veterans Commission will have a VA benefits specialist on Tuesdays. So 2 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesdays, we will have someone on site to help folks.
That
so please come
that
out.
is
And
that
tell
is
everyone
fantastic.
in the community. You
yeah.
never know until you ask.
Yeah, navigating
then,
that stuff is just mind blowing. Yeah.
And then 2 days a week for mental health. It's grown from one day to where we need another day in here. So it's just
So Austin Vet Center shout out and Samaritan Center, both just great partners to work with.
What an amazing story! You just had this idea. Shorty had this idea, brought it to you, and I think Shorty's son now is working at the hall. So, but what a great story! Really a tribute to the people of this town that supported you all and helped this become a real thing. And it's been a great asset to our little town.
Dripping Springs has such a servant heart spirit, and I think that it's evident here in the support that we've all given to Patriots Hall, and we encourage all of our listeners to continue to do the same.
Donate.
Go right now. Go to patriotshall.org, and I'm sure if you have any questions, Sharon and or Kathryn will be there on site, or somebody usually is there.
Somebody's there.
Somebody usually is there. Or just pop by on Tuesday and get a taco.
Are there hours like so?
Good question. Our hours are 9 to 4, Monday through Thursday. There's always someone in the hall. We have like I mentioned before, we have an ambassador program where volunteers specifically volunteer to come and give tours at the hall. So a lot of veterans love to give back that way. And then Fridays from 9 to 12. And then always check the calendar because our offices are closed on the weekends, but we have tons of activities going on into the fall. We're going to have game watching parties, all kinds of fun stuff. But definitely check the calendar. But somebody, we're always here. So
That's
please
great.
stop by.
That's
We
great.
love
My calendar's right up at the top.
Yeah, a lot of evening classes because for people that work too, a lot of those fun things happen in the evening too. So,
Kathryn, I love that that this idea was brought to you, and you were like, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to get it done. And it just.
But that's what's great about like people like the Seals or Mary Jane Hetrick, which you probably know too. She got us together with the Doucettes who build.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, everything just fell into place, and it's. I don't know how to say this. How do I say it? Especially with Hank. I'm like, Hank, this is like too much money. We're not going to do this. And he's like, they raise their hand. They go, Faith. And I'm like, okay. It's like this. You almost hear this slap against the wall of the arm going up. Faith. I'm like, okay. And same with Mary Jane. And it has. It's like it's kind of strengthened my faith in some kind of way. Coming from and because it's just there. Every single speed bump we've had was a lesson learned that made us better. And I can honestly say that. And then huge speed bumps we just didn't have. It just kind of veered off a different way. And someone came through out of the woods and fixed it. So it is blessed, I'd say, definitely this.
It's been really great, and I can't wait to see what y'all do in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're proud supporters of the Patriots Hall here at Mallet and Michelle, and through our Dripping Springs Elite Real Estate Professionals as well. And we encourage everybody listening right now to do the same. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And I'm so glad we finally got you on, even if it was via Sharon.
She just told me, you know what we're doing on the 27th. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, I've really enjoyed it, and it's a wonderful story, and I'm glad that you both had the time to spend with us today. So thanks for coming in.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Find your joy at Jovi Belterra. Life is better here. This thoughtfully designed 55-plus community is paired with resort-style amenities and social activities. They offer 1 and 2 bedroom homes located in Dripping Springs, the gateway to the Hill Country. Make friends, make memories, make time for you at Jovi Belterra. Live JoviBelterra.com, 737-387-6870.
From rodeo clowns, teachers or doctors, and everyone in between, Texans have one thing in common: hard work deserves smart banking. At Southstar Bank, whether you're buying your first home, building a dream ranch, or just managing daily finances, our 16 branches across Central Texas are here for you. Southstar Bank, trusted by professionals, backed by tradition, and built for Texas. SouthstarBank.com, member FDIC, an equal housing lender, NMLS 410624. Your weekend doesn't really start till you're with Deep Eddy Vodka.
The tasting room in Dripping Springs, where the Hill Country gathers.
Sip real fruit vodka, handcrafted cocktails, or a mocktail if you're keeping it light.
Food trailers on the weekends, a family-friendly vibe, and you've got your new favorite hangout.
Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room.
Sip local, sip real in Dripping Springs.
Follow Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room on Facebook and Instagram for what's pouring and what's happening.
This show is brought to you in part by the Mallet Integrity Team, serving Dripping Springs, Austin, and the surrounding areas of Central Texas since 2004. When you need the best real estate advice and service, give them a call at 512-829-2062 or email them at malletintegrityteam.com.
You know you like us, so go now to Apple Podcast or Spotify and leave us a review. Why don't ya? We love your feedback and comments. Email us at malletandmichelle@gmail.com.
Thanks for putting up with us.